When I first heard that Warzone was coming to PlayStation VR, but with the multiplayer component completely stripped out, I didn't really mind. I figured, hey, here's a modern military shooter that's confident that its single-player campaign alone will justify a purchase. Trailer showed off some diverse locations, vehicles, and a variety of weapons, so even knowing that it was coming from the small team that brought us the straightforward budget titles The Perfect Sniper and Wraith, I went into Warzone with some blind optimism. But my enthusiasm also kept me from seeing the fault in my logic, because there's no multiplayer mode, but tragically there's actually no single-player campaign either, no story of any kind or even a premise as to why we're at war. Instead, what we're presented with are two gigantic maps to take on an endless supply of enemy soldiers. You've got 10 minutes to kill as many of them as you can, either solo or with a team of 4 AI, to rack up enough money to slowly unlock new weapons. That's it. That's the entire gameplay loop. And initially, things don't seem all that bleak. The maps are huge and sprawl really far in all directions, and although the ground textures are bland and repetitive, there's some surprising diversity to be found here. Plenty of buildings litter the environment with changes in elevation, and even a truck to hop into to commit countless acts of vehicular homicide. The aim controller tracked great, and for a few minutes, I was having a pretty decent time. But don't pull out your credit card just yet, because despite looking and playing okay on the surface, it doesn't take long for Warzone to show its true colors. The maps are huge, sure, but if you stray too far from the center of the action, you could go minutes without seeing a single opponent. And even worse, the enemy AI is so ridiculously over-the-top accurate from even a half-mile away, so they're bound to kill you long before you ever know they're there. And dying is made infinitely more frustrating because the respawn points are a total disaster. There are always enemies around, sometimes within feet, and without even a second of invincibility, frequently it's impossible to respawn without immediately getting killed again. Playing with an AI team helps distract the enemies a bit, but regardless of how you play, it always feels like the game is laughing at you. Luckily, if you want to cheat the system, just park yourself in a nice hiding spot far away from the action, and for the next 10 minutes, treat these guys like your own personal shooting gallery. It's way less fun this way, but you'll unlock weapons faster and avoid really frustrating deaths. And not that it even matters at this point, your footsteps sound like they're coming from 7 feet behind you, making it sound like you're being stalked constantly. Developer Sin Studio is a small team with a fairly rough track record, so no one was expecting Warzone to be a firewall killer. But what could have been a fun, mindless diversion for a few hours is instead just a frustrating series of deaths without any real reward for persevering. Some of the bigger issues, like respawn points and the enemy's unrealistic pinpoint accuracy, could probably be fixed with a patch or two. But currently, it's a broken mess, and at $15, Warzone is simply too expensive for what it offers.